In this issue of Spacecraft Guide, I am going to continue to teach you how to fly the space shuttle by focusing on the flight instruments. And this one we're going to have go over a button that gives a lot of information on what you need for flying specific systems button. And to get to that button, we're going to have to go into the primary flight display. And when you click on it, it takes you to the primary flight display. Now we're going to go down here to the flight instrument menu buttons, and we're going to select this one, the data bus button. And when you click on it, it takes you to the data bus button page. You see we have the data bus button, and what it does is it maintains the current flight instruments multi-electronic display system display, but allows the user to choose flight critical data buses 1 through 4. Okay, so flight critical data buses that tie the general purpose computers, the GPCs, to the flight critical multi-display monitors, or MDMs, integrated display processors, IDP, heads-up display, HUDs, HUDs, electronic interface units, EIUS, and master event controller, MECs. So this, you can see, is doing a lot. This button is pulling in a lot of information. And if we go down to General, we're actually going to go into the Guidance, Navigation, and Control System. And coming down here, we see about the GPCs, General Processing Computers, interface with the various systems through the orbital's forwarded flight and aft multiplex duplexers. The data buses serve as a conduit for signals going to and from the various sensors that provide velocity and altitude information, okay, which we have in the primary flight display, as well as for signals traveling to and from the orbital propulsion system, orbital aerodynamic control surfaces, and display controllers. So what this is talking about here is the data buses and what they do for the shuttle. And here it's in the Guidance, Navigation, and Control. So it's a really, really important button to get information to the astronauts. So if we go back to the data bus button page, we'll see that this button here is really very critical for the astronauts to know what kind of information that they are using and what information that they will be able to get to, especially in emergency situations or flight critical situations. Now, if you like it, please subscribe, like, and share this episode with all your friends. And now for my Patreon subscribers, and that is, if you are free, you can still join us, so it doesn't cost anything, and you can get we're going to go really in depth on how the system works. So if you are a subscriber, even free, to my Patreon page, and you click on schematic, it takes you, I'll scroll up a little bit here, to the MEDS Data Bus Network. Now this is the whole network, as you can see here, with the multifunctional display units, all of them that we have throughout there, and then the buses that connect them to the integrated data processors, as we have. And we go down here and we have the 4 data buses, the flight critical 4 data buses. So these are the data buses that we have here in the integrated data processors. And you can see that right in here, they are able to be controlled by the push buttons. Test, test, test. Now, this right in here is how, when with the buttons, that we go into these flight critical uh, data buses that we have, and they have 4. And you notice there's 1 for each data processor. Okay, here's IDP 1, 3, 2, and 4, and they all have the flight critical 4 data buses as we've seen here. So that means that information not only is flight critical, it is put through the system of flight critical information. 1, 2, 3, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that is the kind of redundancy that they had on the space shuttle for flight critical data and data in general, because these screens told the astronauts a lot about not only how to navigate, but how the systems, how the spacecraft was doing with them. Now, if you are a Patreon subscriber that pays on our for our Patreon page, and we go with where we go deeper, we are, and that costs $5 a month. So it did go up by 5, but since this is the 56th anniversary of Apollo 11, we are going to have 56 more of the lower paying subscribers to get onto the more information. And remember, now you're going to, with that paying, you'll be able to go into these images up here with in virtual reality and work interactive. You'll be able to go around the cockpit like I do in the beginning of these videos. So there's only 56 available. So if you want to join, now would be a good time. And enough of the commercial. If you are a paying subscriber and you click on schematic, it will take you to this page here, the Data Bus Network. And this is what I wanted you to show, or wanted to show you. Now, here we have General Processing Computer 1. And these are all the things that are just in that one general processing computer. And if you look here, you have Flight Critical String 1, Flight Critical String 2, Flight Critical String 3, and Flight Critical String 4. So there's 4 redundancies on just GPC 1. And what does that do? Well, just like it was, I told you on the page, we have a lot of multifunctional displays that we're going to be using. The MEC here, which the Master Events Controller. We're going to have the HUD down here through that string. There's the HUD. The integrated data processors here, that is all, as you can see, Flight Critical Database 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all connected through these strings. The MDM, the multiplexers and duplexers, all of this, each one of these strings will go to one of these units here, the software and hardware of these units. And so there's 4 redundancies for one computer, general processing computer, and there's 4 computers. There's actually a 5th over here. So all of this information, all of the flight critical information, all the rest of the information, there is some way that the astronauts to get to it. And the reason why is because this computer really it saved a lot of weight because it got rid of a lot of mechanical hardware. But because it did that, it became very critical, became flight critical. So that to back up what they did mechanically, they have backup strings, electronic pathways to all the information. So they have 4 times 4 probability of getting to that information. That's really, really good. So that's all for this week. I want to thank you again for being a subscriber. Please, please, please tell all your friends. We've been having a great amount of free subscribers. Let's hopefully we'll get deeper, or we'll get some of them to pay. And remember, there's also 56 subscriptions left that I put out today, or last week actually, to for that you can get the subscription for 20% off. It's only $4 a month instead of the new $5 price for people who don't know that. So you can tell your friends that you can join for 20% off, and by doing that, you're helping me get you the information on how the shuttle worked and also how to save this information. I've been getting a lot of people that don't even believe that we went to the moon. A lot last week for the 56th anniversary. And you are the people that are helping our humanity. It's not just the science, it's the humanity of keeping our race alive and going. And maybe and eventually went without Earth, because one of these days, millions of years from now, maybe a billion, that the Earth is going to be gone, and we are going to have to be the ones that make sure that humanity survives. So once again, I thank you.